orientation is officially over. I survived. When I came in, they gave me my little name badge. No. If you are in school already, then you probably already know these. But if you are still like maybe doing your prereqs or have gotten into a program, but you just don't know what to expect at your orientation, these are a few things. They did stress getting with a study group and helping each other out, because they did stress the importance of leaning on each other as a family. They did tell us that it would be difficult, but difficult doesn't mean impossible, so it can still be done. They did say that in your study groups, make sure the study group is effective. Don't just link up with your friend and think that it's going to be okay because you call it a study group. They said because if you're not learning anything, like say your friend is a visual learner and you're one that needs to read the book, it's probably not going to work because you're going to want to read the book. They're not, so it won't be effective. Either one of you will probably be forced into doing it the other person's way. Hence, you won't learn your way and you won't learn the information. So they said sometimes, you just need to get out of your comfort zone and just kind of, I'll take my glasses off because I know they probably have a glare. But just get out of your comfort zone and maybe just like get into study groups with people, or she said that your teacher will just kind of let you know maybe, or kind of say, this student has the information down. If you don't, then you might want to work with her. They'll kind of designate you to someone, if you're willing. But yeah, so they did stress the importance of study groups, which I don't know, I'm gonna just kind of see how that works for me because I'm really not a study group type. I don't know, it could just be that all the study groups I've tried to get in before, that we kind of really didn't do anything but talk, and it kind of defeated the whole purpose, so I kind of don't like them. So I do kind of want to just kind of go in it at my own at this point. If I do find that I'm not retaining the information like I want, I will try a study group. But right now, I'm probably not going to go with a study group. So, all right. A lot of things too. They did say that we will be doing something in clinicals on our basically there's like this software that we'll use for our clinicals while we're at our clinical sites, and we can bring our iPads or phones. They did kind of say maybe preferably an iPad because it's a little bigger than a phone, if you don't want to have to strain your eyes, because you will have to kind of like scroll up, and if your phone is not all that big, it could be kind of straining your eyes. So they did suggest the iPad mini. I do have a regular iPad, so if you are kind of wondering something that you might need for nursing school and you're kind of torn between a regular iPad and oh my goodness, that's the bus. Okay, apparently they have a bus to come pick up students. All right, didn't know. That's kind of a benefit, but I don't even stay anywhere close, so that bus will be driving miles trying to take me home. But anyways, yeah, so I wish I would have known that, because when I went to Best Buy to get my iPad, I just was like, I might as well just get a regular iPad. There's really not a difference between the two to me. But I found out today it is, because they said if you do have a big device like a regular iPad, it is a little bit bigger and it is fine. I still can't use it, but they said I probably would want a mini because it can fit in my scrub pocket, and they said that's the main thing, is you'll want something that can kind of like fit in your scrub pocket. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So all right, what else? Oh yeah, they did stress 15 minutes is early. Anything after 15 or 15 minutes before you're supposed to be there is early. Anything past 15 minutes or that grace, if you fall anywhere between the grace period, you are late. Basically, they're saying if we're supposed to be at class at 9 o'clock, they do expect us to be there at 8:45. If I'm anywhere after 8:45, I am late. So they just said I need to start getting ready for that right now, because that's just kind of like a strict protocol for nursing. So they said we might as well get ready for it now. They do not accept any lateness to the clinicals. You automatically fail the assignment for the day. So yeah, and they even stress that some professors, if you show up late to their class, they will lock the door. So with that being said, that was weird. I was not expecting that. I was like, okay, negative Nancy's. But I guess I'm not one to be late anyways, but still, like, okay, like, who does that? But I guess nursing school does, or at least mine anyway. So All right, what else? Oh yeah, they want us, like, they did say that I can use my Apple Watch, which I was happy about, but they just said that I need to make sure that my second hand can stay on for at least a certain amount of time. I think they said 15 seconds. So I am going to go home and try to see if my iPad has a setting that I can set it on and it won't go off, because they said if you're counting, you need, like, I'll need the second hand on my watch, which I do have a setting for my watch. I do have a minute hand, because if you have an Apple Watch, you know that you can pick many different faces and many different types of watches. Like, I wouldn't say watches, but screens on your Apple Watch. So I do have a watch screen that does have a second hand, but I don't know if I can make it stay on for more than 15-30 seconds. I would like for it to stay on a minute. I am gonna go home and see if I can do that, because if not, I think I can. I won't, just downplay my Apple Watch like that. I'm pretty sure if I paid all that money for an Apple Watch, it better be able to stay on for more than 1 minute when I put my arm down. Or, matter of fact, I won't say arm down if I keep my arm up. All right, what else was like something that they stressed about? Oh, you know what? I was surprised that, so they did have, like, upperclassmen come in and talk to us, and just without the teachers being present, to just kind of talk to us and get questions from us and give their just raw, uncut advice, which I was actually surprised, because they requested, or they recommended, should I say, YouTube's site Level Up Nursing. I want to say she's the one that does the registered nurse RN or whatever. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but it's a site or a page called Level Up RN, and they said that she is really good, and they said a lot of times they didn't read their books, so if they listened to their lecture or her lecture, then they kind of got the gist of what was going on, and it did help out a lot, and it did save them hours of reading in the book. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not going to read the book and I'm just going to listen to her. I'm just saying that's what they said, and I'm going to read as much as I can, but I'm also going to listen to her too. So that is something helpful, and I was glad that they did call let the upperclassmen. Oh, let me turn my air up. It's getting hot in here. But I did think that was pretty cool that they let the upperclassmen come in and talk to us and give us their tips, because I do want to know. And I asked quite a few questions. I asked them, did they study more in the book, or did they just go off PowerPoints? Now, a lot of them said they did read the book, because they're highlighters. They like to just visually see the highlighted information and be able to touch it. But I had a few guys in there, they were like, no, I am not a reader, especially this material makes me sleepy and tired. And they were like, no, what I did is I just went off the PowerPoints, and I studied the PowerPoints, and I took my test, and I did fine. So I guess it just depends on if you like highlighting, or if you're just a book reader. Whichever way helps you retain and remember the information a lot better is what I would say. If you're a reader, by all means read. If you're not, then you could just do the PowerPoints. So, because the PowerPoints they are coming from the professor, so I'm pretty sure that information is going to be on the test. Now, I asked the one who said that he does the PowerPoints. He said the only time he looked in his book is if on the PowerPoint it specifically said look at the graph or the table on page 700. So he said that's the only time if they specifically said look in the book for this. He said if not, he didn't look in the book. So I may try that strategy, because they did let us know that the first semester the first few weeks, they're gonna be giving us like tons of chapters to do, and that is just really a lot of reading if we're being honest. So I'm gonna try it, but I really just have a life too, so I'm gonna devote a lot of time to nursing, but I'm not gonna just like be nurse zombie, like just no kid family time. If I can't spare 1 hour then with my family, then that just means I'm not studying effectively. I'm not saying that you can't spend a lot of time studying. Yeah, you can. I'm just saying study smart, not hard, is what I'm trying to say. There's a way to do anything, and my key is just finding my way that I'm gonna study that works more effectively and efficient for me. So yeah, with that being said, what else? All right, they did say that our uniforms are kind of, well, our uniform types are white, and they did say that it can be kind of like a discretion issue when you get to the hospital if they can see like bright colored undergarments. So they said it'd probably be good to wear an undershirt. So yeah. What else? They did say, they did tell us like beforehand to get started reading on some chapters, which they told us that, but then they were like, oh, we don't have them up yet. We will get them up soon. So yeah, hopefully they do, because if so, then I haven't bought my books yet, but I am going to soon. So, and I will start reading before the semester starts, because the semester starts in about 2 weeks. So I will start reading when they put them up. I'll get my books. I was going to get them today, but this actually ran a lot longer than I thought. So I was like, nah, I'll get them another time. All right, what else? All right, some people, or we did have some representative comes in from the bookstore, and one of the reps did kind of suggest that we get ebooks. She said because it saves you so much time as far as like writing out notes. You could just copy and paste. You can highlight. You, instead of reading everything, you could just highlight the things that are important instead of reading all the information. So she did suggest ebooks. I'm really not an ebooker. I do want to have an actual book that I can write things down and highlight in and just kind of read. I mean, but I don't, that's just my style for now. I'll kind of, I'll kind of move things around as I get into the program, and I'll see what kind of works best for me. But right now, I'm going to get the books, not the ebooks. What else? Oh yeah, one of the students, or the upper classman that came in, he did let us know that it would be beneficial and helpful for us to learn the pharmacology prefixes and suffixes, because he said as long as we pretty much know the prefixes and suffixes, then they'll kind of, you will basically kind of know which category and class the medications go into. So that was some good information. What else? Oh, they did suggest getting compression socks. So I do have a video on compression socks. So if you're wanting to know what are compression socks and what are the pros of having compression socks, then I would suggest and refer you to my video that I made on compression socks and nursing shoes and the best nursing shoes. Speaking of nursing shoes, they did speak on too, because I think someone asked about which shoes would be best, and it just kind of varied. It was per preference. We had one who said she has a pair of Nikes and they work good for her. She said as long as she has her compression socks on, she finds that her feet at the end of the day don't swell as much. So that was good. Then we had someone who else said that they had Danskos, and she said they're a little bit pricey, but she said she loves them. So all right, I was glad to hear that, being that I have tennis shoes and Danskos. But if you're kind of thinking which one you want to go with, then it's kind of per preference. I mean, it could be either or, because we've just had them who've spent like hours in clinicals and hours doing just like all kind of things around the community, like involved in nursing, and they've been on their feet for a long time and for semesters. So with that being said, some of them said that tennis shoes work good for them. Some of them said Danskos work for them. So I guess it's kind of up to you. There is no right or wrong. It's just something that you'll have to put on and see what works best with you and your body, your feet, so, and your back. All right. Okay, what else? Oh yeah, they did let us know how, like, basically in nursing school the questions are a lot different from the prerequisites that we took. And we all know in prereq, they basically was like, okay, what is this? What is that? What is, and it was just straightforward answers. They did let us know, the nursing instructors did let us know that, yeah, nursing school, no. And they did say that the upperclassmen said the hardest test that they took in nursing school was the first test. And they said it was the hardest because it was the first time that they've seen test questions asked like that. One of them joked and was like, yeah, it was, they just asked so many like kind of random things that you wouldn't even think that, like, he said it just was something like, what does purple smell like? And it was like, there's no answer for that. So he said on his first test, that was what that was the gist he got of it, because he was like, why are you asking me stuff that I do not know, bro? But with that being said, he said that pretty much majority of all of the upperclassmen said the first test in nursing school was the hardest test that they've ever taken, thus far. But they said it gets easier with every semester. And they said it gets easier because it's basically what you learn in first semester applies to second semester. What you learn in third semester or second semester applies to third semester, and so on and so forth. So basically in your second semester, it gets a little bit easier because it's things that you already learned from the first semester. So I was glad to hear that. They did talk about the honor society or nursing school honor society. They did tell the requirements of it in order to try to apply. I am going to try to apply. I do fit all the requirements. I don't know if you've seen my backpack, but I am a part of the National Honor Society right now. So hopefully I can be in the Nursing Honor Society and try to keep the legacy going. What else? Okay. What else? Because they did give us a flash drive of like the whole nursing handbook. I guess they didn't want to give it to us on paper, so they did give us this. They told us that we could write our names on it or whatever we wanted to do with it. So cool little flash drive. I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm still excited that I even got into the program. So all these little gifts were definitely appreciated. Some other tips. What else? Oh yeah, they did come in and say like, oh, how to be successful in nursing school. One of the ways is they said read the assignments ahead of time before class, so that you'll be able to write down any questions that you may have for the instructor, because they said they won't be able to get through everything during class. So if you read ahead of time, then, and if you have a question, then you'll kind of know. So that was good. Really freaking out because they gave me pharmacology online, and I'm like, bro, like pharmacology online, who does that? Like, I was like, do you hate me? Like, are you trying to make me fail? Like, why would you give me pharmacology online and make me do dosage cal like online? That was crazy. But I asked the upperclassmen. Well, actually, I don't think any of them had said that they did it. It's something new that my school actually started. But I asked other people, like, kind of. But they did say that their pharmacology class was a blended class. So they did some on campus and some online. So, but they said that it wasn't, it wasn't a beast like I was thinking it was going to be. So that was kind of assuring. So I was glad to hear that. What else? Oh yeah, they did tell me though, like on some of the tests, your farm tests have to at least be a 90% or a 100%. Some tests have to be 100%. You cannot miss one. Some you can make a 90. So they said it just kind of varies like what you're doing, because, and I mean, at first I was like, what the? But then I was like, okay, I guess it makes sense because you really don't want to kill anybody though. So that one you might miss might be that one person you kill with the wrong medicine. So I was like, okay, I kind of understand. So, yeah. I'm going to touch on, like, right now, their tips on how to be successful. I wrote them down because I wanted to tell them to you guys. First tip, prepare material before class, meaning look over keywords that may be in your book, read section headers that are in the book, look over charts, tables, anything that's in your book like that just kind of stand out. If you see a table, one of my teachers did say read that, like look over that before you come to class so you can kind of get a gist of what's going to be talked about in class. It's just better to come to class with a whole wherewithal instead of just being knocked upside the head like, well, what's going on today, what am I doing, and what am I doing here with my life right now, so I felt like that was a good tip. Tip number 2, take notes during class. She said that she prefers that we handwrite them, because she said that we're not only hearing it, but then we're writing it down. And as many ways that we can engage different aspects of learning. Hearing is a form of learning. Writing it down is a form of learning. Saying it out loud is another form of learning. Like she said, as many as you can do to engage in learning, she said that she feels like that will help us better remember the information. So she said also to follow along in our book and ask questions during class. So I will have my laptop out, and I will be following along in the PowerPoints, and have my book out at the same time, just to follow along with everything. So all right, she did say review class notes. She said within 24 hours. I do also have a video. I think it's titled "The Top 3 Tips to Master Nursing School" with a slash of prereqs, but I'm assuming that they're good tips because I see that they apply for nursing school too in the actual program. She said to review class notes within the first 24 hours. And in that video, I say, make sure you look over your notes within the first 24 hours. So, yeah, she said that just reviewing it and just kind of learning it in class, then also looking at those notes within the first 24 hours of getting them helps you to remember and retain and help the information to stick in your brain a lot better. So that was good. She said, and another tip is to study. She was like, to devote some time today and just schedule out study time. And that's also something that our upperclassmen told us too. They said they said about 3 to 4 hours a day. They said preferably 3 hours a day to just study. So I was like, all right, cool. And then they also said to remember to take breaks. They said take breaks frequently during your study time. Go for a walk, get something to eat, get a snack, play with your kid, walk your dog, go sit outside and listen to the wind blow. Whatever it is, go grounding, walking outside with your shoes off. Like, whatever makes you happy and whatever makes you feel relaxed and just something that you love to do. If you can do it within studying time, I know a lot of us may like to travel, but I don't know if that'll be an option, being that you'll need to get right back to studying. But if you can find something to do, for like 10 minutes or, just something that you love to do with 10 minutes, then do that and then get back to studying, because they said that it's good to give your brain just time to go absorb the information that you've just put in it. So they said that, what else did they say? Oh yeah, my teacher said that it's good to read small parts. Like if you read a paragraph and then stop. Don't just keep reading, but just stop after that first paragraph and say, okay, what did that paragraph mean? Or what did I just read about? And just kind of see if you got a general understanding of what you just read, because she was like, there's no point of just reading and you don't even know what you read. Like, basically read a little bit, then stop and say, okay, what did that mean? So that was good. What else? Oh yeah, she also said to do questions in our book. She said to, like, in the back of our book they do have study questions. She said go over those, like, in our free time, do those because they will help us. The last tip that was really helpful is she said to buy the NCLEX study questions and do at least 10 daily. We will be going on she said this will be the first semester that they'll be starting a HESI system or a HESI testing system. She said all the semesters prior to now did the ATEI, but now they're moving over to HESI. She said that for whatever reason. And so, with that being said, she said do get the NCLEX study review and do 10 questions a day. So she was like, it doesn't matter right now. You probably don't know what you're looking at, but still just go over those questions, because you're still getting yourself familiar with seeing questions asked like that, so that when real test day comes, you won't feel bombarded with confusion, like, oh my God, what just happened to me and what were they talking about? What does purple smell like? So with that being said, my orientation was a success. It was everything that I thought it was gonna be, and even though I didn't really have breakfast and even though I didn't really have lunch, it still turned out to be amazing and it still turned out to be great. It's only up from here. I'm excited. They did let me know that this is an uphill battle and it is going to be tedious and tough, but tough doesn't mean impossible. So wherever you are on your journey right now, just smile, relax, breathe, because you have this.